didn't even start that. I did a little 3, 2, 1 bullshit. Let me make sure everything's here. Okay. I'm gonna do some content. A little car session. It's been a couple days since I've really done any. I did some yesterday, but it was just a short one, and I really wasn't prepared as far as a topic or anything. I just kind of shotgunned it, and just need some light. I don't know how I do that. I get pinched with that light on. Yeah, I had written down, well, I don't have anything anywhere to really write anything down, but in my text, I had kind of put down a couple topics that I could come down, do a couple car sessions on it. Would have been, good. Would have been good topics. Anyways, today is Saturday, May 17th. Yesterday was Lorraine's birthday, and although the older we get, the less important birthdays are. I know for me, I could care less, but kids still care about birthdays, and especially Ella cares, and I kind of dropped the ball yesterday, and I'll be honest, it's not an excuse, but it is kind of why having Mother's Day and her birthday in the same week really throws me off. And I did well on Mother's Day. I did not drop the ball on Mother's Day. I did well. I showered her with affection, made her feel important. But yesterday, I got her a card. And this is really like how burnt out my mind is getting. I just couldn't think. I'm like, what else do I do? What else do I do? And at 7 o'clock at night, there's something got mentioned about like a candle. Like Ella had a candle for her and wanted to light the candle. And I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? Like a cake. I could have, why wouldn't I have fucking got a cake? But the thought never even, something like that small, like even with, still had some fucking grub stub food stamp money, that would have been something easily done. Or I could have easily fucking just walked out of Stop and Shop with one, even if I didn't have the money. Like money or something like that wouldn't have been a problem. Like if I needed a cake, I would have got a cake. Do you know what I mean? The not having money thing is the smallest problem. But the thought never, ever occurred to me. Even like after the day was over and I'm thinking, what else can I do? It never occurred until it got brought up, like when we were already in bed, and I'm thinking like, damn, I didn't do well today. But yeah, she let me hear. She didn't yell at me. She just said, I really was upset that. So, we're human. I'll just try to do better next year. So my friend, anyways, and this is, I couldn't find where I put the ideas for the content. I don't know where the hell they are. And I know at the time they were good, pretty good ideas. But Jay Laporta, who is a follower and a friend from a long time ago, we met in Billerica. He mentioned a story and was like, I want to know kind of a few things you went through with the Max, but I really just don't like thinking of stories and telling them, especially I know there's people to back them up. I know Brett Capola listens, and there's shit that he can back up. But he mentioned a story as he had said that, but it's not about the story. It's about what the story represents. And this was when I really didn't give a fuck, and getting a move, going to minimum, stuff like that didn't matter, because this day I finally got class too. Well, I was in a house of correction. I got class to CWP that day, and Billerica had kind of had enough of me. You know, I had so many beefs there, and had ripped out in the hole so many times, and had been down in their wine cellar a bunch of shitload of times, and had just done so many things there. God knows how many tickets I had and how much trouble I had caused there. That this was finally the last fight that got me to the hole. Then I ended up in the wine cellar and got shipped out from the wine cellar. But we wanted our haircuts. Somehow, in a place like Billerica, where it's as white as anywhere you'll go, there was no white barbers. I don't know how it would happen, but I really didn't pay attention or care. I just wanted my hair cut by a white barber. And Bobby Sacco used to cut my hair. And so we went to the kid, or someone had already talked to this big Spanish kid who I had already done state time, and was one of those dudes who was on that shit and used to fucking go have an epileptic seizure on the fucking on the heavy bag, and thought he was tough. And we had talked to him. Well, they had talked to him, and he had said that, every 2 weeks he'd give us a slot in the barber shop. And naturally, when that day came, like any normal person and non-fucking idiot knows, you don't go to the cop and say, hey, I'm gonna do this. You don't mention it to the cop. You just do it, because the cop's not gonna check. And there you could have easily got away with it, but this moron went to the cop and asked, hey, I'm gonna let this guy cut hair. And naturally the cop said no. So it became a big issue. And the Spanish kid allegedly said to Jeff Angelesco, or I don't know if it was me, if we were both there, and he's like, I'll cut your hair, and I'll charge you fucking some crazy amount. I forget the amount. He said something crazy, like he got gully with motherfuckers. I'll charge you $4 a head, and that'll be that. Like he just thought, I don't know what the fuck he thought, but he was coming at the wrong motherfuckers. So I'm like, yeah, no. I turned around and I'm like, you already know what time it is. I mean, naturally, half the time, I just would have moved right there and then, but I wanted to get everything in order first, and come in and just do it right. I wanted to do it right. So I turned around, I'm like, yeah, all right, you got that. And so then, which was crazy, it gets even crazier, because I was doing this just out of being the right thing, but just that he thought he was just gonna punk out 2 white dudes, which he thought, that I'm gonna punk off 2 white boys. I don't like that white boy shit. Right? I ain't no boy, and no other face likes being called a boy. I don't know why. Other dudes, I think a lot of white dudes just go for it just because they just accept it. Just because some don't look into it, but even ones that might be offended by it just don't say nothing about it because they just want to be accepted. You know, when some dudes won't say it disrespectfully, but they don't know it, they're like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, you're a cool ass white boy. But I don't like it any which way. But so it was me and Jeff Angelesco. He said it to. So then when I had came up to move on him the first time, Jeff was in the fucking barber chair getting a fucking haircut. And I couldn't fucking believe, because that was my boy. I think it was my cellmate at the time. And I just looked at him and shook my head like, yo, are you fucking serious, bro? This dude just disrespected the shit out of you. And you can't act and pretend like he did it. And I imagine, I never went to find out. I never got the chance to. I've ran into him multiple times after and done time with him after, but I never asked him about it because I just let it go, because that was always in the back of my head. Something like that you keep in the back of your head, and you know, okay, this is where this person stands. And I couldn't believe it. Like you can't play like this dude wasn't trying to punk us off. So I really should have did it then, but the dude had half a haircut, so I waited for him to finish his haircut. And I came back when he was cutting whoever's hair. I don't know who the fuck the person was, if he was halfway through a haircut or not. And I just came in and moved on the motherfucker. And the dude was like 6'3". Jay can vouch for that. He was a tall motherfucker. I had to reach up to blast him. And Jay saying something about the clippers. I don't know. I got hit with the clippers. I had a little, you know, one of them when you get hit in the corner of the eye, black eyes. That wasn't a black eye here. It was just I got grazed with the clippers, but I think he tried to hit me with the clippers again. Jay grabbed them or something. But loyalty. So I guess after they had took us away, right? Because we end up getting lugged. I did what I had to do, right? There was a Spanish kid that was fucking, he was just a racist motherfucker. And he was really somebody, like, I was just looking for any reason to fucking knock out. And I never got it, because anytime I was around him, I don't know, he just never gave me that reason. But he was talking shit. He was saying something about what, this, that. He didn't like what I did. And my buddy, my boy, right? Southeast, Louis Prasad, right? I don't know how many of you know him. But he's like a little pit bull, right? Lightning Lou. He smashed him. He just fucking come out. That was my man, right? And he did the right thing. And it turned into basically a 2-on-2. Because it wasn't a minute or two. And he was up on the third tier. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing up here? He was like, I wasn't gonna let this dude talk shit. But I had it in my head that, because Billerica was the type of joint that was run how joints should be run, right? You get in a fight, you do your 10 days. Now, if after like your second or third fight, they give you this thing called the program, and guys who did time there know about the program. So you do like an extra 3 weeks on top of it once you become like a problem there. So you basically do a month, but they put you back together, and then you can keep fighting, and they'll keep putting you back together until you either get tired of fighting I don't know, you keep fighting. But you know, 99.9999 times out of 100, motherfuckers are gonna end up just having respect for one another because they're both the same type of person, and just saying, you know what, and shaking each other's hand, even if they really don't like each other, but they respect that they're both like that. But I had it in my head, he had finally done something. This kid, the Spanish, the racist Spanish kid that Lou had fought, that had ran his mouth enough for Lou to smash him. I was gonna come down and take him out. But what happened was, okay, naturally, I got the program because it was like my 7th fight in Billerica. And this kid had come to me. This is what's such a bitch move. The kid had come to me, and the whole was like, yeah, I don't want no problems, man. I don't know what that was about. And I'm like, you don't know what that was about? What the fuck you talking about? You claimed you did all the state time. And here I am, just a kid. I was just about 20, 21, 22 years old. You know you disrespect somebody. You know when you're trying to fucking punk someone off. You disrespected me, and I moved. All right, and he's like, yeah, you got that. So he came to me and tried to squash things up in Seg in Billerica, in the old Billerica, behind the wall, and something happened, and we all ended up ripping out. So we both ended up down in the wine cellar together. So they ended up putting us in the showers together. So we ended up in the shower together. Now, I ain't no fool. Now, this, I was doing a nice county bid, like almost, I was doing on and afters and a deuce and a half, and it ended up adding up to like 3 years. So like at this point, I was almost at the end of it because I got class to CWP, and obviously that move got wiped out. But I didn't give a fuck. I didn't even think twice. I did what I had to do. I'm not going to take a short just because I got class to CWP, especially at that age. And I got my eye on him in the shower. Now we're naked. Now it's obviously I got no clothes on, fucking, because I'm taking a shower. And he come at me, and he had these long ass arms. And he threw like 4 or 5 haymakers. Now, I don't have any traction or nothing. It's wet. Did I have shower shoes on? I don't know. I forget if they provided them. I would imagine. There's no way I was showering without shower shoes on. So I had shower shoes on. And I was completely naked. And it was just like a very fucking uncomfortable fight. Schlong, fucking bouncing around. I didn't want no fucking schlongage to touch. I'm like, what the fuck you doing coming at me naked? You wanted to fight? We could have fucking fought. You fucking bitch. You're such a bitch. Coming at me. Butt ass naked, waiting for me to put my fucking shorts on. My boxers on. But he didn't get me. And the cops fucking hopped on him before I can even throw a punch. You know, he just threw a bunch of haymakers and fucking, that's all he was doing, was throwing them. The fucking epileptic seizure haymakers he used to throw at the heavy bag when he used to fucking hit it when we were in the gym. And then the cops that I didn't get along with, like Aiello and some other maggot. No, was it Hainsey? No, I didn't get along with Hainsey. Them two. The only 2 cops that don't get along with the whole joint, that don't respect the way I move. Because everyone else respects the way I move. Because the whole time I was there, I moved on shit. Nobody can say any different. You know, my thing was like, I'm not gonna take any shit from nobody. I'm a young kid, and that's it. You say shit, you talk shit, you're gonna get moved on. And most of them respected it, except for them 2. They just didn't. like me for whatever reason. They're like, oh, so when they were taking us down, they're like, oh, you got fucked up. I'm like, I got fucked up? What are you talking about? He didn't land a fucking punch. He threw fucking 8 wild haymakers and didn't land one fucking punch. Don't you think I'd have a mark on me or anything? Like, stop talking shit. My boys are all down here. My boys know. So, listen, it gets better. So now, everyone down in the wine cellars, all dudes I know and fuck with. It's all white guys. I forget who was exactly down there. I don't know if there was any really tough guys, but now he's worried. Now the cop that's working the next day is somebody that likes me. He's like, hey, you want to see something funny? I'm like, who doesn't? You know. And he came and brought me a letter. This dude that wrote a letter to the administration. Well, however it goes there, I forget. I'm used to doing state time now, so I forget how the county shit goes. I'm in fear of my life. Mr. Ahern and his friends have I've had 2 fights with him now, and I fear that one of us are gonna end up dead. You know, I'm a father and blase blah, and no one's gonna attempt to hurt me or kill me, and if that happens, I'm gonna try to kill them first. So one of us are gonna end up dead in here if you don't ship me back to Middleton. And And long story short, they shipped him out like the next opportunity that they could, because that was it between me and him. The next opportunity I got, I was gonna hurt him, and I was gonna hurt him bad with the weapon. I'm not playing this shit no more. Like, this kid's not. I don't trust him. I don't care what he says. I'm not gonna trust his word. Like, I knew to be on my toes, so there was no way he was gonna sucker me or catch me slipping. So I had my eye on him the whole time in the shower. So when he came at me, I was ready for it. And that's why he wasn't able to get me, and I was able to fucking move backwards every time he fucking threw one of them long-ass punches. But, yeah, some people pick up on it, some people don't, as far as how to move, how not to move, and to not make excuses for when somebody tries to fucking disrespect you. Like, here was a guy, right, Angelesco, who had already done a state bid and all that, and got right in that fucking chair and took a fucking mean shot by taking that haircut. And here I was, what was it, 2003, I was 21, 22 years old, and I was already on that. I ain't taking that class to CWP. Could have fucking maxed out 12 and a half when they were doing it. I think that's what they were giving away down there. And I ended up getting shipped out after that. I was in the wine cellar. I woke up the next morning and got shipped one of them mornings. After they shipped him to Middleton, I got shipped back to South Bay, back to my own county. And when I got there, it was no different. I was still on my shit, and still. McQueenie was there. McQueenie, who watches regularly, and he knows. And that's what's different about my channel from guys like, and I bring him up a lot, because here's a guy who had thousands, hundreds of thousands. I don't even know if he had close to 1 million subscribers, right? But not one person, right? They were running into Spanish guys that weren't like his subscribers, that they had asked, that were in the whatever state he was in, if it was Cali or wherever, if they knew him, right? And they would say, yeah, I knew him, I was with him, but no white guys that were with him that could vouch that he ran any yards, that he fucking did all this shit that he said he did, right? all this work he said he put in, and not one person can vouch on hundreds and thousands of fucking subscribers. I got 200 subscribers, and I have multiple people that can back up every story that I've said, pretty much, but can vouch for the fact that if I said it, I did it, but that I'm the type of person that was about everything I said I'm about, you know, and I don't understand that. Zero authenticity. Was damn near a millionaire, had Bugattis and shit off of this shit, content like this, you know. And that's why I've got guys that did time with me and that were there and know, like, if I had to check someone, I checked them. If I ever had to bring it to that level, and it almost got to that point, and I, you know, would give guys an option out if they weren't that type of person, because I'm not a bully. Once I got to, all right, you can't just move on every single fucking person that pisses you off, because you're never gonna stop. But you'll see, maybe you can go at it in a different way and really check a motherfucker if they piss you off, and see if they want to do that. But give them the option out if they're not really about that. And 9 times out of 10, that's what would happen. But that's the type of shit I was on. That I'm authentic. I tell stories exactly as they were, as I remember them. You know, because my mind is not as sharp as it used to be. It used to be very sharp, and I would remember everything. And Brett knows that, you know, that I would remember everything. I could tell you where fucking somebody went to college, any basketball or football player, and where they went to college, and name any fucking song from the 80s and who sang it. Don't matter how obscure the song was. But my mind's not as sharp as it was, but I am as authentic as it gets, and that's why I ask. Share this, share it, so that it gets to the same audience that listens. There's a audience for this type of content. They're out there. There was hundreds of thousands of people that listen to so many people that aren't very authentic. And then you got people like Scott Hicks, who aren't authentic at all. At least Wes Watson was there, and the Spanish guys could vouch for. He was there, you know. He was there where he said he was, but did he run yards and shit? I don't know. And personally, I don't think so. But he was at least where he said he was, you know. So it's not like he was a complete fraud. This Hicks kid is just a complete fraud, because I've done time with him. I know I just ran into Brooksy from Quincy, my guy Brooksy, Jonathan Brooks, and he knows him. He did time in Dedham with him, and he said he's retelling stories of shit that he did. And if Brooksy says that, I believe that, because he's not gonna lie. He's not a guy to lie neither. So that's what I got for now. I'll try to on my way back to home, I'll try to come up with something else. That's your car session for today, Saturday, May 17th. Have a good one.